Spider-Man No Way Home is one of my favorite Spider-Man movies I've ever watched. It has everything from great choreography, interesting characters, funny, enjoyable moments, and very emotionally powerful moments with dialogue. I already made a video about this, but it was a spoiler-free version, so I didn't go really in-depth on the movie, and the reason why I did that was because I didn't want to be the Grinch that stole Christmas early. I didn't want to ruin the movie for certain people, so I just played it safe and made a spoiler-free video with plans to make another video like this down the line. But the reason why I'm making this video is because I saw a lot of reviews that said this movie was trash, it was garbage, it was bad, and I really just kind of want to dissect their opinions. By the way, I'm probably going to make a part 2 of this because there are other videos that are like 30 minutes long and it's going to take way too long to dissect in one video, so stay tuned for that. And also, huge disclaimer, there's a lot of spoilers in here, so please, if you haven't seen Spider-Man, turn away now. But that's probably none of you because there's not a maniac alive that would click on a Spider-Man video without watching the Spider-Man movie. And if you're one of them, then what the fuck are you doing? But without further ado, let's get into the first review.
Disclaimer, this video is not meant for anyone who is under the age of 13, so if you're a kid or a My Hero Academia fanboy, please leave. But to those who are over the age of 13, enjoy the video.
Quick question, if I'm much older than the age of 13, but I look like a 13-year-old, do I get my ass fucking thrown out of the line by the bouncer, or can I actually watch this video? Because if I'm good on that, then I'm good on the second one. I'm not really a My Hero Academia fanboy. I've actually made a video that was probably controversial for the My Hero Academia fanboys, so there's that.
I always watch the movie. That's how I roll. That's how I do my movie reviews on the Trash Thrasher channel. I always watch the movie. I don't just say, oh, it's trash, it's bad, it's garbage, oh my god, don't watch this movie, oh, worst Marvel movie ever. I have proof to back my claims up that it could be the worst Marvel movie ever. For example, Eternals. I made a video on that. I made a movie review, rant on that, and it is the worst Marvel movie ever. Well, it was the worst Marvel movie ever. We'll get into that shortly, but I never lie.
Okay, a couple of things. One, can you calm down, bro? Like, holy shit, I feel like you're about to have a goddamn stroke in a second. Like, can someone give this dude an aspirin? Like, holy shit, I think he's about to pass out. By the way, I just want to quickly go through these two comments. One, someone said that this is just a young Defiant clone, which, yeah, that's actually probably the most accurate thing I've ever heard about this dude. And another guy said, somewhere out there, a tree is producing oxygen for you. You owe that tree an apology. I can't even count how many times this guy goes Secondly, he said he's never made a review and called a movie trash without watching it, but he later said this.
This movie is awful. I haven't even seen it yet, and I know that it is awful. I am not watching this movie. I'm not wasting my time. I'm not wasting my money. Definitely not wasting my money on this, and you shouldn't either.
I guess there's a first time for everything. Thirdly, he said Eternals was the worst movie ever in the MCU, and while this video isn't about Eternals, and I also had a negative review about the Eternals, I don't think it's the worst MC movie ever, but again, he's not too far off. It's a pretty bad movie. Now let's get to his take about the movie, and it's literally just one thing, and that's the fan service.
This is nothing but fan service. I'm not gonna give any spoilers because I don't want to risk, being taken down by Sony, but this is just a fan service. I mean, oh my god. It's honestly a fan service Thanksgiving dinner for the Spider-Man neckbeards. That's all it is.
Now, this is a valid criticism, and it's one of my only criticisms about this movie. There is fan service, but I don't think it's that bad, and this dude is definitely over-exaggerating. There are moments, for example, like Doc Ock saying multiple times, the power of the sun in the palm of my hand. He says this multiple times, and it's just kind of shoehorned in a random dialogue, and I personally don't enjoy that. I think it's just blatant fan service. And there's other moments like Tobey Maguire stretching his back and going, my back, which is just a meme from the original trilogy. So there are moments where it's kind of blatant fan service, but for the most part, especially with the characters that are in this movie, I don't think they used them as fan service, and I also think they really did a good job with the characters. All the characters that were in this movie that were in other Spider-Man movies all worked really well with one another, and I think it added character development for a lot of them. They felt like continuations from the respective Spider-Man movies they came from. And there was a lot of decent development with them. Like, for example, Norman Osborn having a mental breakdown and really struggling with his inner darkness, and convincing Aunt May to really help him because of the fact that he's really mentally confused and lost. I think scenes like that are very powerful, or the scenes where all the Spider-Mans meet up and they talk about their tragedies. And it's almost like not only they're helping Tom Holland's Peter Parker, but also helping each other get through their tragedies. Literally, when Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker talks about losing Gwen, it is really hard to sit through and watch him. He's such an amazing actor, and he gets all the little details right about mental trauma like this. So other than a few moments here and there where I roll my eyes and I go, okay, that was definitely fan service, the movie itself is not really that bad with fan service, and anyone that says that this criticism ruined the experience for them, I just think they're really over-exaggerating. Of course, it's your opinion, and I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I would really highly suggest re-evaluating the movie. Because again, me personally, other than a few scenes, I think the fan service was quite tame. And yes, viewer, I know, I have to take this video with a grain of salt because this dude's definitely a troll, and he honestly probably doesn't believe anything he's actually saying, which leads to a question of why I'm even making an analysis of his video, and that's mainly for two reasons. One, I actually found it funny, so I wanted to do a video on it, and two, it covers the main criticism that I've heard in a lot of reviews, the fan service. And I think this was just an efficient way to kill two birds with one stone and really emphasize why I don't think the fan service is that big of a criticism. Now, on to the next video.
So do you guys remember when Spider-Man was kind of grounded to being this friendly neighborhood Spider-Man? Well, fuck that. Let's put him in space. The thing is that Spider-Man is this friendly neighborhood kind of character, but all of that is immediately thrown out the window when you start putting in multiverse shit in there. It is so difficult to make a Spider-Man multiverse story work because he wasn't made for that kind of storyline.
Here's the problem with this. While I kind of agree with what he says about Spider-Man, it's just a different interpretation of the character. Hell, in Injustice, Superman is a goddamn murderous dictator. So there are plenty of superheroes that are written differently from their original depiction. And if you have a problem with that, then yeah, that's your opinion. But me personally, I don't think it's that bad. We already had Tom Holland's Peter Parker be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man in the original movie, Spider-Man Homecoming. And then we had Tom Holland's Peter Parker expand outwards into space and other things like that. And now we have the multiverse. So again, while it's your opinion, I personally think it's really good to expand on the character.
He immediately goes to Doctor Strange and he's like, hey, can you please change the universe for me, thanks? And do you guys remember when Doctor Strange said back in that one Avengers movie? Might not have heard of it. He was like, yeah, I'm never changing the universe. Even if Thanos were to wipe us and half the universe out. What happened to that, Doctor Strange?
This is actually a perfect criticism, and it's one of the criticisms that I had about this movie. I thought it was out of character for Doctor Strange to do this, and it was very reckless of him, which is very unlike him. So this is actually something we agree on. I guess the difference between me and him is that I think this is a notable criticism, while he probably thinks this is a bigger criticism than it actually is.
Trailers for No Way Home, and you've got the entire fight scene. It is so fucking rushed that by the time it's over, you're like, oh, that's it? I was expecting more.
Just because something is quick and concise doesn't make it bad. I thought the choreography was very creative and entertaining. Hell, one of my favorite fight scenes in anime is just two dudes holding katanas and swinging at each other. In the world of anime where you have Super Saiyans flying around and shit, having something that's very simplistic is a breath of fresh air. And this is what the fight in Spider-Man really reminds me of. And plus, the fight scene I'm talking about in Samurai Champloo only lasts a couple minutes, in comparison to Naruto fights where the battle can last a dozen episodes. So I don't think it's a valid criticism to say that the fight scene is bad because it's fast. I think it was creative and entertaining, and it was a good way to introduce Doc Ock to the universe.
I'll let you in on a little secret. It's not fucking murder if they're all walking corpses. That's like saying killing a zombie is murder. It's not, mate, they're dead. Because of that idiotic choice, Aunt May dies.
Bro, Peter Parker is a fucking kid. This choice displays the innocent and naive perspective of Peter Parker. He truly thinks he could save these villains' lives by changing them. And honestly, I think this decision really fits the character of Peter Parker. And plus, I just want to add in here, I love how when the villains vanish, they don't tell us if the fate was actually changed. They leave it up for the interpretation of the audience.
The ending for this movie is also really dumb. So basically everyone forgets who Spider-Man is anyway. So the whole movie is pointless. Great, I love it when none of this shit should have ever happened in the first place.
Out of all of his criticisms, I think this one is going to be my biggest disagreement. If everyone, including Peter Parker, forgot about the events that transpired, then yeah, you would have a valid criticism here. But that's not the case. Peter Parker remembers everything, which allows for him to keep all the character development that happened. He goes from a child that ruined an entire spell and caused all this mayhem just because he wanted something very selfish, to at the end of the movie where he doesn't tell MJ what happened, because it would be very damaging to her to try to tell her everything that happened without any memory of it. So instead of doing that selfish action like he would have done in the beginning of the movie, he buries his feelings and walks away for the greater good of someone he really loves. This shows the maturity of Peter Parker from the beginning of the movie to the end. This is the moment where I really thought Peter Parker kind of entered adulthood, because he was able to make such a difficult choice like that, leading to a really good bittersweet ending. But other than that, I think those are the major criticisms that I wanted to highlight. He has some other ones like the pacing, which I didn't really have a problem with, and Aunt May's death, which again, that one kind of was indifferent to me. So those are the main ones that I really wanted to talk about. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, consider liking and subscribing, and comment below what I should do next. I'll do movies, games, anime, shows, whatever. But again, thank you for watching.